different homelessness situations, but people have the freedom and the creativity to write about whatever. It could be the Eagles, it could be the Sixers, it could be a movie review. Generally 70% of it's probably homeless advocacy and 30% creative pieces. We have cartoons in there and photography. Some really neat stuff.
Yeah, and again, I've looked through the paper. This one is, well, before I get to this one, I want to talk about this one. This one is called Fighting Back, and it's a cover story on ex-world boxing champion Matthew Saad Muhammad, a person, if anyone who follows sports, they would know anything about him.
Exactly.
You have an article in here from Sister Mary Scullion in Philadelphia, a true champion of the disenfranchised in Philadelphia. And so this is mainstream stuff here that we're talking about.
And that's one of the neatest things about the paper is you see, Sister Mary has a story in there. We have stories from Dignity Housing, from all shelters across Philadelphia. It's not just the Ridge Center or Woodstock. It encompasses all shelters.
We sat in on one of your recent editorial meetings because just like any journalism operation, news operation, you have to get together, talk about what's going on with the paper, to talk about what you're trying to get in the current edition, what the cover story is going to be, what the feature articles are. Here's one of your writers here, and looks like, this is like any other editorial meeting in any other paper in America that I've ever been a part of.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a real editorial meeting, and we have story ideas, and we have arguments, and we go at it for 2 hours, people brainstorming. I mean, Claudell can attest to that.
Yes.
Claudell?
Yeah, it's a lot of things that's going on, and you got creative minds in the room, and everyone's like pitching their ideas. But it's all about uplifting and shining a better light on what people look down on, a lot of people in the streets.
And who would know better than someone who's been there, done that, and who's experienced it. Come back in here for me for a second, Norm. I want to get a shot of this because this was the March 2010 edition. And it says, Philly homeless help the Haiti homeless. And I want you to notice down in the corner right here, this cover story was written by one Claudell Edwards, who is here with me right now. So when did you know you were a writer?
I didn't know. It's something that I had to come to the shelter to find out. It's like God has a funny sense of humor, and it was like you have writing skills, but you just don't know it yet. So it basically, when they came to the shelter with this idea about writing for a paper, I jumped at the opportunity.
Yeah, let me just read just the opening sentence from this. This is your writing I'm reading here from your cover story. It says, many people gave what they could from whatever they had to help the relief effort in Haiti. At RHD, the Ridge Center, homeless men gave what they could from what they didn't have. When over 2 million people in Haiti faced catastrophe because of the 7.1 earthquake, I was in awe at what I had seen and heard. Haiti was left with widespread death and injuries.
Yes.
That's good stuff.
Yeah.
We all remember what was happening there. You felt it, perhaps more than most.
Actually, it wasn't just me. It was a brother named Gerald Ford. He actually was talking to his mother on the phone, and his mother told him to do something about it instead of just being sad about it. So me and him got together and brainstormed and like, why don't we do something for him? And he came up with the idea of actually starting a drive, like a clothing drive to help him like with cosmetics and clothes and things like that. And I was like, I'll do the story.
Yeah. I'm sure that one was a no-brainer in the editorial meeting when these guys say we want to write on what's happening in Haiti.
Yeah, I mean, that ended up being one of the largest drives for Haiti in all of Philadelphia. It took place at the Ridge Center.
Yeah. You said you have 30 writers who are homeless right now.
Yeah, it really varies, anywhere between 15 and 30.
Because people are in transition,
exactly.
Correct? Some are coming in, some are on the way out, and so forth, so I can see how that works. And what is that flow like? Is it constantly flowing, or do people tend to come and stay for a while before they move on?
There's definitely a constant flow, but there's also a lot of people who have been with us from the beginning of the paper, and whether they're still in the shelter now or they've moved on into housing like Claudell, they stay involved because the paper has become such an important part of their day to day.
I'm sure glad you say that. That's where I want to go next. We're going to get ready for this first break, but when we come back, I want you to tell me the second part of your story. Okay. We talked about the first part about when you were lost and you found your way to the shelter, and you began to adjust to the situation there, but you're not in that shelter anymore.
No.
And we want to talk about what transpired to make that happen.
Okay.
You're watching Art Fennell Reports. When we come back, we'll have more with Chloe and Claudell as we look at homelessness in America. We'll be right back with more after this. Welcome back to Art Fennell Reports. We're talking homelessness in America and a paper in Philadelphia called One Step Away that's helping the homeless to get back on their feet. And they're doing it not by just asking you for a handout, they're asking you to buy their paper, One Step Away. And that's what we're talking about. Claudell Edwards is here with me, who's a writer for the paper, former homeless person himself, and Chloe Johnson also here with me. Let me just say this. And you won't know some of these names, but let me put them out there anyway. Blair Griffith, probably never heard of that name. This might help. She's Miss Colorado for 2010. Blair Griffith, a magna cum laude graduate from college, currently homeless. Series of unfortunate events. Her mother fell on hard times, and the current Miss Colorado, who's preparing to compete in the Miss USA pageant, is homeless, living with friends right now. Dante Johnson, don't know him, an Army soldier who was on leave from Afghanistan, as I understand it, fell on hard